Hello and welcome to the E14 Gamecast, Emotionally 14's gaming podcast. Still haven't got a better intro than that, but we're going to go with it anyway. I'm your host, Rob Wade, and I'm joined as always by Blake Harmer.
Sonic Boom!
That's pretty good. They felt that all the way over in Japan. So hopefully you don't crack any of my china.
Well, if you do Chun-Li's death noise, which is that noise, I might break some of your china. Spinning bird kick!
How are you doing? You good?
Yes, I'm good. Yeah.
Excellent. Have you played anything particularly good recently? We're going to talk in more depth about one particular game, but
at the moment, well, I've been playing. I can't remember what I said last time. I've been playing a bit of on again, off again because I've sort of been playing it when Kat's been available, but I've been because she's been watching me play it. But I've been playing Prey.
Oh, how is it?
I'm enjoying it. It's got it's sort of a mixture. It's got that obviously sci-fi, and it reminds me of BioShock meets Prop Hunt from Gary's Mod.
Oh, okay.
Because the monsters are mimic, like the little ones are mimics, and they take the ideas of like different monsters, and like and every now and then there are some good jump bits. Like I go to like the first there's a bit where you sort of come across a gun, and I was and there's two guns on the thing, and I was just like, oh, a gun and some ammo, not thinking that one of the. Then obviously when I pick up the gun and go, oh, I pick up the ammo, and then obviously it turns out to be a mimic, and I went, oh shit, bang 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 bang.
I did that, but because I played the first bit of the demo, where because the demo kind of takes you through into the lab, and then it wakes you up the following day, and everything's not as it seems.
Yeah.
And so
I think that's the thing. I downloaded it. I knew I wanted the game anyway because I was looking. It's one of those games I was like, it looks too good for me not to get it.
Yeah.
And I did download the demo, but I never got around to playing it. And then I
just bought the game anyway.
And then I managed to pick it up cheap. I think I managed to get it for like 25.
That's
so
really
I was
good.
a bit like, yeah, I'm fine. If it's fine, if it sucks, I'm sure I can trade it in for near that money anyway.
Exactly.
Is what was my argument.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm enjoying it at the moment. I heard it's not the longest game in the world, but
shooters generally aren't.
I'm liking the fact it's got that sort of but it's got that more of a BioShock Dishonored thing where it's sort of like you have to think what you're doing. You won't always win a straight on confrontation with the monsters like early on until you've leveled up a bit.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But I'm enjoying it so far though.
Okay, cool.
And I've recently completed Attack on Titan.
How do you like it?
I really liked it. I thought the fact that you had to do all the expedition.
That was a slog. A little bit of a slog. I did enjoy. I
think it didn't help that I was trying to do all the requests, and then when I realised when it started to slow down, and you only got one character towards the end of the request, I was like going, I can't be bothered with this, and I just gave up. Especially as you needed to be specific characters to get the requests. So I was like, oh, no bollocks to this. So that's why I just went no.
Fair enough.
That trophy will never be mine.
Yes, I am the same way. I did a good chunk of it, but not all of it, and I'm going to keep it that way.
Yeah,
because
I did get the trophy for doing all of the expedition missions, but I didn't.
Can't remember if I did or not. Maybe I did. I'm not sure.
I left it there, but no, it's not. I don't know. Obviously, not without because I've not been watching the second series. I'm waiting for it to come out properly over in the UK.
Apparently, Crunchyroll's got it.
Oh, okay.
So I may sign up for a month's trial. Once it's out, once it's fully out, I might sign up for a month's trial and blitz it.
Yeah, I might do that. But at the moment, the other part of me is like I'm happy to wait for it for like the English dub to come out on Netflix because I watched it originally in English dub. I mean, I could watch the second series and but no, I enjoyed it. As I said, it got a little bit repetitive. I think the fact it made you do all those missions. Made it show how repetitive the game was. Yeah, and whilst I'm fine with. That's the thing. Whilst I'm fine with games like Dynasty Warriors, which I know who the company also made, they're good stress relieving games. I've had a bad day at work. I want to lay waste to 500 people.
I want to kill all the samurai.
Whilst I like it, whilst I like the mechanics of Attack on Titan, I didn't find them in that sort of stress relieving factor. And then in the end, I just went like, you're just putting all these missions for the sake of putting all these missions. I would have thought. So overall, I think the game was great, but less is more. If I was to criticise it in any way, cool. But if they made a sequel, yes, I'd be down with that.
Cool. I've given up on a couple of games recently after a while. So I gave up on Dragon Age Inquisition.
Okay.
There was a long period where I was playing it and having fun.
Okay.
and that ended, and I was just doing it in a similar way. I was just felt like I was slogging through just to slog through at one point,
yeah.
because there was a period where I wasn't really sure where the story was supposed to go next, and I couldn't work out what to do. So I was just kind of going around doing random bits.
It's a long time ago since I played that one.
Yeah, I also gave up on the WWE 2K16, which is obviously a Games with Gold a few months back.
Oh yeah, I
mainly because
was this the actual campaign mode with your own character?
I was doing the career modes, but also in general, it's a general complaint about the game. The pinning is fine because I don't know how much of it you played.
I played a bit of the career mode, but then because I couldn't, it might have been me getting too cross a bit too quickly, but. Yeah. I felt like I lost one of my earliest matches because I couldn't work out the tag functionality.
Right.
I could tag, but I couldn't get back behind the ropes to stop being counted out.
Oh, I had that problem a few times.
And I was like, what am I doing wrong? What button is it? And that's the thing, it doesn't tell you what button you have to press.
And then it DQs you for being in the ring for too long.
Yeah. And I was like, this is...
fuck you.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. It was like, this is a...
fuck you.
And I wouldn't mind because that's like your second match or something.
Yeah.
It's like... this isn't particularly fair, considering that
I find
what is normally in most games a mechanic that you automatically get sent back to the ring.
If at least you haven't done it manually by a certain time.
Yeah.
I found I did have that problem. I think I figured it out in the end because I think it just flashed up on the screen in a particular match.
I did complete the Stone Cold bit though.
I didn't do any of that. Maybe I should have.
Yeah, I found I got the grips with the gameplay a bit better because it's still difficult because it does show you because it does make you to actually progress the game you have to do certain criteria, and I must admit it says do this, and I was like, how do I do that? And I actually had to scroll through the menus to actually find out what that meant.
Right, I see.
And when I found out, I was like, I have to do this. But then in a couple of places it becomes a bit fiddly because but yeah, it's the thing is because it's not necessarily a good arcadey wrestling game.
No, it's very involved.
A very good how wrestling should be sort of game, if that makes sense. Like if you were a booker doing that's the thing.
That side of things is fun.
Yeah. But I would like if you're trying to make your character go all the way, it's fine. But it's sort of like
oh my.
Yeah, but it's not like the earlier SmackDowns where you would just beat everyone really easily and you claim the trophy and that's you winning the game.
Yeah, the problem I found is in general, I found the reversing quite fiddly.
It's certainly an art to it.
Yes.
I found it easy, and I think that's the thing. When you're playing a Stone Cold, he's obviously a bit easier because his stats are so high.
Yeah.
When you're obviously playing with Jobberson or whoever, you're obviously the counters are a lot harder. Or it's easier to be get
pinned
or tapped out. So that's the word I think submitted.
So reversals, I was getting to the point where I was doing maybe hitting about half, which is okay. The computer hits 100%. It seems it barely takes a scratch.
There seems to be certain characters I found
really good.
I found that you're just reversing everything I do, and I had to. In a way, I sort of take the Stone Cold storyline. Obviously he had this feud with Bret Hart. Mm-hmm. During that bit, and it's quite early on in the campaign, I got very frustrated because it felt like I couldn't beat him because he just reversed everything. Yeah. But then actually it made me play like Stone Cold Steve Austin would, because when I tried to throw him and all that or do any technical throws, he reversed it because obviously he's Bret Hart. He's incredibly technical.
Yeah, the excellence
of
execution.
But when I just repeatedly punched him in the face, like Stone Cold would, I was like, oh, that's actually, that's how you beat him.
I have this mental image in my head of you just going, right, well, I'm just going to beat Bret Hart, and, well, God damn it, why can't why can't I beat his goddamn ass? I'm going to punch the shit out of him.
I'm going to take my brace off and smack it up in the head.
I just like the idea that it's like, well, okay, I'm going to just do this technical chain of moves. I'm going to throw a fucking ass through a window. Pretend it's Deborah.
Fucking game, I'm going to go drink.
I got a goddamn beer out here. My goddamn... He's reversing my goddamn move.
I like it, but it's not a game I could... It's because of that... I feel like it's a game more for die-hard wrestling fans.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a game I could invite a friend round and play with.
No. Although actually, if you're playing one on against each other, you probably find that the reversal, both being crap at reversals, might nullify each other a bit.
I'm not saying there's that, but I think because it's that whole, you get injured and it's trying to climb up. 'Cause, I mean, you can have some very realistic looking matches in that game.
I had some great matches in it.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I said, I was a bit like, oh, I lost. But I'm glad I lost because that's how it should have gone.
Yeah, it does.
And that's why I was like, in terms of booking, the way that the spots and all that,
and the star system, it's like basically look good losing is okay, and you
Yeah.
actually still get rewarded for looking good while doing it. That sort of thing. That was cool. What wasn't cool was the submission system. I hate the submission system with a fiery passion.
That holding the arm and pressing the button. And...
Basically, I used to tap out to really shitty arm bars because I just couldn't work out how to do it in a way that it didn't just go.
You have to be quick. That's the thing. You have to move. Yeah, you have to be very quick. And again, it's a bit easier when you got a guy with practicing on a guy with better stats.
The chain wrestling I got my head around ish. The pins I got my head around ish, and sometimes that made for really good.
It took me a while to get my head around, but I think that's the thing. It was like the tutorials seemed to flash. I think that's the thing. The tutorials I didn't think were particularly good.
No,
and I'd not really played a WWE, a SmackDown, depending on what you want to call it these days, game for quite a few years, for quite a few entries. I think it was like 2010 was the last one I played before 2K16, so it had been quite obviously 6 years since I played one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was, and I was like going, this game is completely changed. You know, it is not the game I remember playing.
And you can't teach that.
Yeah. And I think
in the tutorial mode, effectively within the game.
Yeah.
That's the full version of Enzo's catchphrase. I think is. I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that within the tutorial of a full-fledged game with any sort of degree of accuracy.
Yeah.
Bada boom!
As I said, I like the game in a certain way, but I could see why it would drive you up the wall.
Yeah, so basically it drove me out the wall to the point where I was just like, you know what, I'm going to stop. I am tempted, because at the time of recording, the Ultimate Game Sale's on, and they've got 2K17 for 20 quid.
Oh, okay.
And that's tempting because apparently in that you can change the submission system to be a bit more like it's a cross between a button mashing. Yeah, it's a spammy button thing, but you have to spam the right button at the right time. So it's a bit like a cross between spammy buttons and Guitar Hero. Almost. It's like, you have to spam triangle. Oh, it's changed to square. You have to spam square.
Oh, yeah, I think one of the older games used to do that.
Which seems cool. Yeah. That seems like a good system.
I never had a problem with that,
to
be honest.
But apparently it's better in general. Like, it's a bit more fluid.
I think some of the things like that rotate the stick thing reminded me of, not that I really played a lot of them, I played demos, but like the UFC style games and all that. And
well, funnily enough, actually, the reason I played it in the first place was because there was a What Culture Wrestling 7-day wrestling game competition. And every time I watched one, I was like, I really want to play a wrestling game. And actually, what's annoying is I wanted to play those wrestling games. So I wanted to play the SmackDown versus Raws. I wanted to play the No Mercies. I wanted to play the Fire Pro Wrestlings, and you can't do it because there's nothing backwards compatible anymore.
They did make noises about releasing a new Fire Pro, but I haven't heard anything.
I've heard this, but I don't think it's come into the UK.
I think it might have been and gone, and just because I remember one of my magazines saying, "Oh it's coming."
I remember sharing it on one of your. I think it was you and Brad's Facebook walls.
Yeah, and I'm going, "Oh, a new Fire Pro. Yeah, that'd be cool."
Yeah,
and then I just went, come on, the game can't take that much development time to bring out.
Well, quite. It's a cool game. It looks pretty cool from watching the What Culture videos. But I do find it a little bit weird.
It's not exactly AAA, is it? So.
Well, no, it's like it's a sort of, again, it's like an arcadey, a bit like
it's an arcadey beat 'em up. I know Fire Pro is normally regarded as like one of the best wrestling games out there. Really,
I'd like to see them do. If they could figure out the licensing, because I imagine that's probably the obstacle. Some of the older. Well, no, I was thinking
doesn't have licensing.
I was thinking some of the older SmackDown versus Raws might be good to stick in the backwards compatible catalogue.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done that, to be honest.
Yeah.
It must be easy enough to do.
Yeah, I think it maybe it's a licensing thing for people who are no longer in the business and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know we're about to move on to your question, but I just have one general thing just because I genuinely don't know.
That's okay.
And it might just be something I missed from E3, and I must admit, it wasn't something I was massively following. I just saw it as an announcement. I went, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How is the Xbox, the original Xbox, backwards compatibility just going to work in general, like the 360, they're going to add certain licenses again?
That's my understanding. It's going to work exactly the same.
Or are they going to put an emulation software in an update or something? That's why I didn't know what they were doing.
Possibly both.
Yeah.
Like I think I get the impression it will work in the same way as the 360 stuff does. So if you've got a digital, it will just download.
So again, because I mean, I don't hold any of the original Xbox anymore. But if I wanted to track down a specific game, would I know it would definitely work, or would I have to wait until the list come out?
Now, what's interesting
is... I recently rebought a load of older 360 games, because I was like, I never really said about it. I mean, because it might be we have it as a... I don't think we've ever done it. Have we ever done like a guiltiest admissions, like confessions type thing? Like
do you know, we never have.
We've never played, for example.
We never have, I don't think, no. We should do that at some point. That is a good idea.
Because I was going to suggest it. But, I mean, you can delete this bit, sorry.
No, that's cool. But, tell you what, listeners, if you want to hear it, if you want to hear us do our sort of, what's it like, notable omissions almost, isn't it?
Yeah, like, I mean, I'll start off with one which I know a lot of people would
to give you a taste.
Deem, and this was what was made me think, could I get maybe get an episode out of it?
Yeah.
Is I've tried the first game, but I have never managed to do the Mass Effect trilogy.
The first game is rough, and if you're going to do the trilogy, it's best to start at 2, to be honest, and then go back to 1 as a passion thing.
But then again, I know some people weirdly, that seem to they say that the first one is their game.
First one is a very pure RPG,
and some people go like, I've got no time. Like, I mean, I know one person who loves 1, has played it several times.
Yeah.
Played 2, did complete 2, but wasn't as taken with it, and didn't bother with 3 because he thought they found out when it was going to be more like 2. So. Right.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, let's say 1's got the pure RPG elements down to it. So if you like pure RPGs, 1 is more like 1. But it has all the downsides of that too.
Yeah.
Like all the fiddly movement.
I think what I found, it wasn't so much the fiddly movement. It was, I don't know. It just never grabbed me at any point. I mean, I like the opening bit, but I think what I didn't like is I'm the kind of person is that when I get a load of side quests, I tend to go, well, I'm in the area anyway, I might as well do said side quests. And I think that might have been my problem, because I sat there on that space station and did every single side quest on the Citadel before I went on the Normandy. And that was a chore.
Yeah, it was. And I did the same, actually. I'm right with you.
And I finally got on the Normandy. I started trying to work out the jumping system. I was still, obviously I'd never used it before. I was just navigating it. I got to, there was a distress call where apparently pirates had attacked you, but it might have just been a random event thing. I'm not sure. It wasn't the main mission.
No.
But I was like, oh, it's a side quest, so I'd do it. And they were obviously I was obviously ridiculously underpowered, and it just twatted me. But there was no hint at a recommended level.
No,
or
it just twatted you.
It just twatted me. And I was like, oh. And I think I hadn't saved properly or something, and it didn't really put me back at a good place. And I was a bit like, you know what? I'll come back to this later. And I just never did.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering, as I said, I could argue that, and I would say I'm a pretty big gamer, and you see people, and obviously I know you do get a lot of trolls on the internet and that, but you do see like comments on Facebook, YouTube, all that sort of thing, and they're like, God, how can you not have played the Mass Effect games and all that? And I just went, because I'm playing all the other games. That's the problem.
Yeah, they're a big time investment.
Another thing, they're not short games.
No, not at all.
I thought, if the first one came out, I know a lot of people have said, you're quite right about it too, but as I said, I was rebuying a load of 360 games, and I actually bought 1, 2 and 3 because I knew they were backwards compatible.
Yeah.
And I also bought I think it was Assassin's Creed Rogue, because I knew that was also backwards compatible, and I knew you can't get that on modern systems. And I think I bought the original Dark Souls because I knew it was backwards compatible.
I have a digital copy of that, but I bought it way back when.
But I was sitting there going, well, I never really played them. Those are good ones. Those are good ones to do. I did buy a couple of games that, like I bought Reach and I bought Fable 2. I'd beaten them, but there were like ones I might play them again.
Reach is an amazing game. I wouldn't blame you at all for playing that again.
I thought it was really weird. It was omitted from the collection. I know it's not truly.
It's not part of the Master Chief universe.
Yeah,
so
I know it's called the Master Chief Collection. It's not technically Master Chief, but I was just like.
That's a good collection as well.
Yeah, but then again, you could argue that ODST was DLC. Why didn't they make that DLC?
I suppose, yeah.
And ODST isn't truly a Master Chief.
I think there were rumours that it was going to become DLC at some point.
And then I was like, well, if it's backwards compatible, I'll just buy that. Yeah, it was only like,
fair enough.
£2.50, I think it was. But but I just thought, it made me go back and think that there's a load of games I've missed, and so that's why I was thinking it could be that was a mission that could turn into a full episode or something if you wanted to.
Let's say I definitely think there's legs in it for the notable omissions from our list, because I've got some doozies, and people will be like, really?
Yeah.
Because there's a few that I'm like, it's just one of those things. Again, like you said, I've been too busy playing the other games to play this game.
Well, yeah, the thing about gaming, even if be it your main hobby or whatever, most people have a life outside of gaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I spend a lot of time gaming. I know I game more than probably...
Even then.
I would say I gamed more than the average person,
Yeah.
You're looking at a person that's actually, at the time of recording in a couple of weeks, is considering going to a Tekken 7 competition.
Oh, wow, okay. I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. It's only in a local pub.
Yeah, a friend of mine runs it.
And it's for charity.
A friend of mine runs it.
Oh, okay, yeah. But, I was a bit like... I could actually... Yeah. I like to think I'm quite good at Tekken 7. I might be horribly proved wrong in a couple of weeks that I'm actually rather shit at Tekken.
Yeah.
But I at least like to have a go at it.
Yeah.
So I just thought, it's a bit of fun. Me and my friend, who both play a lot of Tekken, work out, and I'd like to think we're fairly equal because we beat each other fairly evenly, if you know what I mean.
And in games?
Yeah, and in games.
Just beat the shit out of each other regularly. It's like, get damn body, stomp a mud hole in your ass.
Yeah. Come over and play 2K16 with me.
I'm going to beat this goddamn level.
Beat you like Deborah.
Poor girl.
This was meant to be fun.
Poor woman. This is supposed to be a happy day. Anyway, so before we talk to move to the main bulk of the discussion, I just want to take a moment to read an iTunes review that we got.
Okay, awesome.
So if you like the cut of this, Jib, and you want to do the same and give us a review, we'll always appreciate it. Especially Blake, that's his thing. You can do so by finding the E14 Gamecast on iTunes or on Stitcher Radio, and you can leave us a review. Obviously, we'd love 5 stars. We're not going to force you. So this one is 5 stars.
Yeah, awesome.
Which is the only one we care about.
Yeah.
Just saying. And the title is, Why Have I Not Reviewed This Already? And it's from Testing Times in the UK. And I think I know who that is, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
It's definitely not another podcast. I'm fairly sure of that.
Yeah, okay.
The conductors from the Crazy Train also, perhaps unsurprisingly, play a lot of games, and it's always nice to hear other gamers talk about the good and bad bits of the games they play. Episode 16, where the crew play aliens, is a personal highlight, but the everyday chats of Rob and his happy team are all enjoyable and well worth listening to. They also are amazingly responsive on Facebook and Twitter, so do get involved if there's something you want to hear them enthuse over. So that's once again a really lovely review.
Oh, thank you very much.
I got both of this one and the Crazy Train that's coming after this. Both got a review from the same person. They both dropped at the same time, and they made my fucking day. They absolutely put a huge smile on my face for the whole day, because it was just like, this person gets it bang on. Like that he or she understands exactly what I'm doing and exactly what I'm going for and exactly what we aim for with this.
Yeah. As I say,
and they've nailed it.
We do it as fun, but it's nice that people enjoy our fun as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've had YouTube comments that also do that sort of thing, where it's like, really love these videos and that sort of thing. Yeah. And it's wonderful,
It's good. And obviously we'll for any good feedback or constructive criticism or anything like that.
And you can do that by, like I said, you can go to iTunes, you can go to Stitcher Radio. If it's constructive criticism, I would probably prefer an email, which would be podcast@emotionally14.com. Where you can give us your feedback on the show, what you like, what you think we could do better, what you think we could do more of or less of.
But at the end of the day, we do this out of enjoyment.
Sure.
We've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah.
We're slowly building it up and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's the sort of, it's nice that we get good feedback, and,
it's wonderful.
It's good that people enjoy what we do.
And we want more.
Yeah, and we do want
feedback.
More. And as I said, any other way we can improve the show as well. You know, bar, not spending all the money.
Well, and also, like, there's certain ones I'm not going to, there's certain bits of criticism I'm not going to take, which is, for example, I wish the Crazy Train was more scripted. Fuck off.
Yeah.
That defeats the point. So I wish the E14 Gamecast talked more about movies. It's like, well, that's not really what it's for.
You are going to get those people, unfortunately.
Sure, but I mean, if they're fucking about, that's one thing. But if it's a serious comment of like, I really think this would make the show better, I disagree, and I'm going to veto it.
Well, that's fine. Well, I mean, we do have the final say, obviously, on what we do. But no, I'm saying constructive criticism is obviously good, because I mean, if there's something people want more of, obviously, I would rather go that direction.
Yeah, exactly.
To improve on the show and get more people enjoying it.
Let's say, for argument's sake, there was a person listening to the Gamecast who was like, I really like this show and I really like what they talk about, but they never talk about Xbox. I know we do.
I like to hope I know I'm not particularly massive on Nintendo.
We're pretty
but
agnostic.
I own a Switch, I'm the only member of E14.
You are, this is true. It's only because I haven't bought one yet, but it is on my list. I have a Wii U, so there's that.
Yeah.
In a way, that's
I know I'm not necessarily pro Nintendo, but
You're not anti-Nintendo?
No, I like to think I try to cover all of them as much as possible. And to be honest, I think part of the reason I tried to get into more things like the Switch was to try and get me more... To have more worldly view on some games, because obviously a lot of these sort of games pass me by and I never see the mass appeal of them.
I understand. I mean,
again, there's probably a lot of criminal omissions in my list of games because 90% of them are Nintendo games. So
we'll get there one day.
Oh yeah.
So if you like the, in fact, that can be one of the podcast email challenges. If you like the sound of an episode where we just talk about games that we think have passed us by and we think they should have been in our list and they're not, then email podcast@emotioneer14.com with the subject Gamecast and tell us that you want that episode or whatever episodes you want. Yeah. And we will chuck it into the mix. Or you can also
chuck in your things if you want us to read them off or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. If you've got listener input that you want to, if we've got an episode that you want to do and you want to chuck in one as an example, do it. Because that's the best way to... I've never
played Pac-Man or something like that.
That sort of thing, yeah.
I have played Pac-Man for the record.
Me too. So for this one, in this particular instance, sorry Xbox people, but we are going to talk about a PS4 exclusive. Yeah. So
maybe you should release more exclusives.
Fair.
Yeah.
I just finished Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
It is.
So we're going to talk about that for a bit.
Yeah.
Basically.
As I said in the last Gamescast, it's currently my joint game of the year at the moment.
I can believe it, to be honest. Having played it, I don't know how many hours I did on it. I did a good chunk of the side quests.
I think I managed to do it, and I think I did all the main side quests. I got annoyed because I ballsed up the trophy for getting the perfect ending. But
what's the perfect? How does the perfect? How do you
have everyone join you at the end? Because you normally piss someone off, or
I see.
Or you can piss some people off, or you can kill someone and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And I ballsed it up, and that was the only thing, apart from collecting all the side quests, which is all on the map anyway. I could have got the platinum, but I didn't because I ballsed up that trophy, and I was like, well, I'm not playing another 40 hours just to get that trophy.
Fair. So, I'm with you on that one. I don't think I got the perfect ending. It was the credits.
I don't think it ends similarly.
Fucking enormous.
Oh yes,
the credits.
It goes on forever.
My controller powered down twice, and my PlayStation threatened to power down 3 times because of the power saving settings.
Oh bloody hell!
Because it had gone on for so long. I was able to make dinner. I was able to come back and eat that and watch and have the credits.
I'd like to thank everybody in the whole world.
I'd like to thank everybody in the universe. I think it would have been quicker just to scroll the names down. But it was. It was an enormous list of credits.
It is a big credits list. I was sitting there because I was like, I bet there's a post-credits thing. But I'm always wary with those sort of bits in games. In a film, it's okay because a film is normally only a few minutes of credits, and they'll normally stick a post-credit sequence at the end, or
especially if it's Marvel.
Yeah,
yeah.
But with a game, sometimes you think, oh, there'll be something at the end.
Yeah,
but then that. Well, I could press X to skip, but then if I do that, I might skip the thing.
That's the worry I had, is it has a skip button. And I was like, what if I skip it and it goes past the post-credit scene, or there's a trophy for sitting through the whole credits? Because I've had those before.
Yeah, they've popped up before as well.
I was really annoyed on a similar note, but not the same. I finished Rayman Legends recently. and that has a really long credits, and like the whole thing is you can punch the letters out, which is kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
So as it's going up the screen, you can actually knock letters away and stuff. And I was like, if I do enough of these, I might get an achievement. So I was just kicking the shit out of these credits, just like Austin being pissed off at Bret Hart. And it's just like, I'd start off like, oh, hello, my name's Rayman, and I've got
goddamn, no arms.
Gonna have some Rayman wazers, hit you with a Rayman stunner.
Goddamn yums.
So I did, so I sat through the credits and I watched the post-credit sequence. I'm not going to talk spoilers yet because it's still not been out.
And also
Or has it?
If I was to, I suppose it has been out a while, and people who, but I think because it's still. I think with films, obviously it would have come out on DVD by now, and you could argue that.
Yeah, there's no
but
measure
with
like
this
that.
sort of game, I would say there probably are people who have yet to play it,
or
because it might have been too expensive,
or
not finished it yet. And with this sort of game, I actually think what made it for me was the reveal of the story.
Yeah,
and I don't think that.
That's
I think
fair.
to take that away from someone, I think
Yes.
it's a bit. It sort of defies the point of the game.
I agree, actually, and one of the reasons I agree.
So I know this may go like, well, how are you going to do an episode talking about a game you can't spoil?
Well, you can, and you can talk about like what's good about But one of the things I really liked about it was there was a point before which I was going through the game going, this didn't have to be about mechanical things. It could have been set in modern times, or like could have been set in almost like primal. It could have been set in those times.
They could have just they felt tacked on at one point.
The futuristic setting felt tacked on. The sort of the far future robot machines and stuff.
Yeah.
Then something happened in the story, or you found a certain thing that explained a certain thing.
Yeah.
I think you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, not going into the. Okay, I won't go into the point of explaining.
I can tell you.
I will say
because it's in the title. When you figured out what Zero Dawn meant, at that point, I went, okay, that is now my complaint invalidated. You could not do this in the old settings. This had to be a future story.
And that's why I was like, people saying, "Oh, I hope there's a sequel," and I was like,
"Of course there will be."
Yeah, there probably will be.
Yeah,
but and also, it does sort of leave it open for a sequel.
For sure, yeah.
But then part of me was a bit like, it's a bit like how I felt The Last of Us, if you know what I mean. I was like,
it's like this could end here and I'd be fine.
Yeah, I was like, it didn't. I felt that end. I felt. Okay, there's a post-credit sequence. I felt, and not to give any spoilers, I felt the post-credit sequence was unnecessary, personally.
Okay.
I would have said if it had ended like that and that was the end of it, I would have been happy with that, and that would have been fine as a self-contained story. I know that's not how game development works, especially AAA game development, and it will lead into. Obviously, they will make a sequel because money.
Yeah. Well, it's made of children's money.
Yeah.
Like John Cena.
Yeah. And it's a fantastic game, and obviously for sure. I loved the combat in it. I love shooting off bits of pieces of.
I found that I really enjoyed that when it worked.
Like the tear blasters.
The tear blast arrows were my favourite arrows in the game by far, because they were so resoundingly percussive.
And also the game doesn't really teach you where all the weak spots are. They'll show you some bits, but they're not always so obvious.
I didn't like the fact that you had to use the focus without your weapon drawn in order to see the weak spots, but on the plus side, I did like that once you'd seen that, they stayed visible for a few seconds.
Oh yeah. So you could see,
which gave you a chance to line something up.
And also, once you knew the weak spots of a certain monster, it's only initial when you come across a new one.
So
really.
like broadheads, you could be like, okay, the horns are weak.
But I liked that it was a trial and error type of thing to it. So it's like, oh, this is a new creature I've not come across before. How's the best way to take it down? But come the end of the game, you're like.
Yeah, exactly. Come the end of the game, you're just like, I put an arrow in its fucking head.
Yeah, you're like, I'll be like, I was sort of like killing, monsters that I found really hard to kill at the beginning of the game. I was just sort of killing 20 of them by the end of it.
Yeah, it's just like, I can stab a sawtooth in the eyes. Yeah, lovely. Yeah.
Whereas I know you level up and become more powerful and have better weapons.
There are things. But there were monsters in the game that I still actively, consciously avoided, even at the end, like rock breakers, because they're big fuckers.
I hate them.
Yeah, I really liked them.
I liked them, and I did like the side quest where when you first come across one.
That was great.
That's a good side. It's essentially a boss battle, really.
Yeah, where it just suddenly appears out of nowhere, and you're just like, whoa, fuck.
Yeah, I thought that was great. What I didn't like was the one time when I'd accidentally woke two of them up. that was one of the most epic battles in that I wish I'd recorded, because I was like, and I was amazed I survived, because also whilst fighting that, whilst they were trying to attack me, they upset, I can't remember what they were called, the alligator things.
Oh, Snapmaw.
Yeah, Snapmaws.
Yeah.
And about 3 of them started, but they were crossed with them. So the Snapmaws started attacking the group, because I was like going, good.
Yeah, fight some
Fight
more.
more. You might be able
Here's
to get their 3 billion health points
Just
down a bit.
chucking an Uzi into the middle and just going,
I was
fight.
like sitting there going, make arrows, make arrows, make arrows, make arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had one bit if I had a bit I didn't like about the game,
The gameplay.
If I was
Okay.
Inventory management.
That was annoying. Yeah.
I felt like I was endlessly chucking stuff that I was never going to use, or I would sell some stuff, but then I wouldn't sell some bits, like certain hearts, for example, because I was like, I bet that'll be the one thing I need to craft an upgrade or something.
It was good in the respect that, much like a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls, you don't feel overloaded until you finish it, and then you go, oh shit, I've got loads of stuff left.
Yeah.
It's like Fallout, you might stash a few bits,
but
then
thing,
you
I
might
was never making
you might need them later.
I never really made the traps, for example.
I never bothered
with that. So I was coming around all these herbs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I made the maximum inventory in case I did need them, just to get rid of some space. But then after that, I was like, well, I'm just not going to bother picking them again.
Yeah.
Once I realised what they were for.
Well, same with like
initially in like that game,
corruption.
I kept coming across like the corruption route and going, oh, I'm going to pick all that up. I'm going to pick all that up, and then all of a sudden like, I need to upgrade my inventory gear because I'm holding too much stuff again.
Yeah. It was tricky because like the corruption route, I picked loads, and then I was like, oh, I can build corruption arrows now, and then I built them and I shot them, and I was like, these are shit.
Then
they're not great.
No.
You have to basically, if you're going to catch something, you have to catch it bang on to corrupt it straight away, and you also have to hit it while it's in a group. Rather than if it comes towards you on its own, then it's just going to carry on attacking you. I think I found with
anything like the elemental stuff, arrows and stuff like that, and the corruption arrows,
I didn't bother.
I was a bit like. Initially, I was like, well, I think with like the electric arrows, because I found sometimes it was easier to stun some of the bigger monsters initially when you were weaker. Yeah, I just found rather than trying to hit a specific weak spot to make it happen quicker, I was just spamming it until the bar went up enough to do it. So I was just like, who needs accuracy when you can just fire all the arrows at them?
Who needs accuracy when you have...
now they're stunned. Now I can do the...
quantity!
Yeah. Now they're stunned, I can run up and do the heavy hit attack.
Yeah. Which actually didn't hit that heavy, I found.
Not really,
for the speed
I found that I never used light attack after a while. I worked out how to hit with the R2 attack with relative accuracy, and I just always used that.
I found that I was more likely to try and take a short-range shot with the hardpoint arrows than bother with melee attacks.
I didn't mind. Well, it depended on the monster, because sometimes if you hit with the R2 attack, obviously you could stun them, and then obviously you could do the kill attack.
Stun them!
Yeah, I say the death attack, but it's not really good on the monster. It just sort of it does more damage, obviously, when they're stunned. But, I think the only monster I truly, apart from the rock breakers, the only other one I avoided was like the stormbirds, the big ones.
The stormbirds were bastards. Also bastards were behemoths, of which I only killed one.
I think there's a mission where you come across a herd of them, isn't there?
There's one where you have to kill one in the story.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think you can...
I think there is a side quest where you have to take down a herd of them, and that is a pain.
Shit.
Luckily, I was pretty maxed by that point, so I was able to just
even maxed, I didn't like my chances against some stuff.
No, there's a lot of... I'm not very good I felt like I was in a Dark Souls game, because there was a lot of rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
big time.
But, as I said, my only real gripe was like that, and as I think I said in the previous Gamecast, it was like fluff, bum lines in the game.
There were some duff lines. There was some duff delivery. So there's some really good performances. Aloy on the whole is all right. She had some moments where I was just like a little bit flat.
It's just odd that it was like a really flat, emotionless line. I was like going,
didn't really fit.
But I recently read an article where they said that they said some actors don't know what they're the game they're acting for because of like
there's somebody who
is a guy who played Kellogg in Fallout 4 who's obviously a fairly major character in Fallout 4.
Didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, he had no idea who he was playing and what game he was playing for.
Yeah,
he managed to get an inkling later on, I think, but he said, and then obviously the article went on to say like there's a lot of issues with I think it was Eurogamer that did it. It was like issues with how much they can be paid, and that's why we've got the
strike
going on at the moment, and that sort of thing, and that's why there's been changes with like Life is Strange with the main character not returning, the main voice actor not returning.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they've got someone else because she's made a point of not returning to it because of this strike.
Yeah,
essentially because of the way she.
That's Max or Chloe?
Not well.
Whoever played is the protagonist or the main friend?
I think it was the main protagonist.
Okay, so Max.
I think you play as the other one in the new one, don't you?
Oh, okay.
So,
isn't it a prequel?
It's a prequel, but I think the main focus is on the other character.
Yeah, because obviously it's got the build up to...
It's on my to-play list, so...
The first series?
Yeah.
I won't spoil it for you.
Yeah. No, I've heard it's got some good time.
It's got some great bits. It's got some really shit bits as well. But overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And the story...
I'm sort of... In respect to going back to games I sort of half played, so I'm trying to finish Wolf Among Us with Cat as well.
That's what I was trying to do with Dragon Age, but I gave up in the end because I was just bored.
Yeah, but I know I can do Wolf Among Us. I literally just need to sit down with Cat long enough to do it. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Wolf Among Us is one of my favourites.
Yeah, no, and we were really liking it. It just got put down, and I was like, "Oh God, am I going to remember this?" Because I did like the first 2 episodes, and then I started the 3rd episode. I was like.
What?
The recap was enough for me to be alright. Yeah. Actually, I remembered bits as I was playing.
I'll tell you now. If you'd come in at episode, I think 4, with having just finished episode 3 a while back, you'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" Because I think it gets weird after that.
Yeah,
maybe it's the end of episode 4 that does it. I don't know. Anyway, there's one of the episodes. There's a particular episode that takes a really weird turn at the end, and then the beginning just completely jars.
Yeah. Well, where episode 3 ends is. Bloody Mary turns up at the end of episode 3 and sort of tries to take Ichabod away from you.
Oh yeah.
And then you go wolf form.
Yes.
I chose to kill. I think you either can spare Tweedledee or you can kill Tweedledee.
Oh yeah.
And I chose to kill Tweedledee in my version, but obviously I know I never really worry that much because I was like, well. I just went, well, what would I do if I was in that sort of situation? I was like...
If I was a man who was also a wolf.
If I was a man who was also a wolf and I'd been pissed off enough to become a wolf, I think I would have killed him. So that's why I'll do it.
I'll kill you, you right bastard.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, maybe I just play like Stone Cold Steve Austin in games.
Please, can we make a video about this? Can we please YouTube this somehow?
Armour 316 that I just appreciated your ass.
There's our t-shirt. So anyway, so for Horizon, generally, I thought it was really, really good. Let's say the only gripe I had was some of the voice acting was a little bit, like you say, a little bit flat.
Did you play enough to get like the best armor and all that sort of thing?
Yeah. I got the best armors and stuff. I had the option of buying the best armors and stuff like that. I didn't always buy.
Did you get the
best armor?
Best armor.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think is that a side quest?
It's a side quest. You
come across
it's fairly near the beginning. You need to find the power cells to get into it.
I didn't do that. It was on my list.
I did do it. I must admit, I had to look up a couple of locations where to actually find them. But,
right. Okay.
But I mean, yeah.
But I thought the voice acting generally was fine. Lance Reddick's really good. The guy who plays Silence.
Yes.
He plays himself, but I'm good with that because I think he's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm glad that it sounds like he will be a recurring character if they do turn it into a
based on
series.
What I saw of based on sort of how the story kind of wound up for him. I would say he's definitely going to be turning up in future installments.
Looking good. And as I said, I felt like the reveal of it and finding out what Zero Dawn was.
Yeah.
I felt that was what made the game for me because when I found that out, I was like, "Wow, that's quite a good reveal. That's really good."
I think it built up. It built a really good world.
Yeah,
as well.
And I was like, "Oh, that's quite a nice twist on it," because it's like, because I was going, "Oh, it'll be this. Oh, it'll be this," or something. Thinking it'll be very generic, and it was like, "Oh, it's actually a bit different," and I actually quite like that.
Yeah, it kind of went similar to how I was expecting, but there were big differences to what they did versus what I was expecting to happen. Like I was expecting. I won't say, but basically I was expecting it to be... We can talk about it offline.
Yeah, talk
about off air what I was expecting to happen. But I think overall, a really, really bloody good game. Really glad I made the point of playing it now rather than waiting for ages, coming back to it later after all the dust had settled.
I don't know if it's just me, but I find when I play a game that is brand new, it might just be because, games copy other games and all
Sure.
that sort of thing. But I find that if I go back to a game that's a bit old, even if it's only like a couple of years, I feel it. If you know what I mean,
certain games don't age
feel
very
like
well.
they don't grab me like everyone seems to be grabbed by said game.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'll go, oh, it's good. I mean, there's still some omissions where games still do age brilliantly.
Sure.
Like, I mean, I was late to the party with Half-Life 2, for example, but
That's still a
Half-Life
good
2
game.
is still a fantastic game.
Yeah, still great.
And I had no problem with that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I'm trying to think of an example.
Well, like, are you thinking of one where it has aged badly?
Well, yeah, just a game that I went back. Not necessarily, as I said, not necessarily an old game, but because I didn't play it when it was released,
Yeah.
I just didn't. It just didn't grab me. I mean,
think.
I can think of some extreme circumstances, like I know when because obviously I never owned an N64 and picked one up for retro gaming purposes. Yeah. I actually tried Ocarina of Time, and I must admit I did find that the controls on that very clunky, and but I mean that's just evolution of gaming, and I'm sure it will still. And I mean, I'm sure some people find like with playing some of the older Final Fantasies will have that trouble.
7
as well.
is 7 for me.
7 is an aged game.
I will play the remake quite happily, but 7 for me aged bad. I had a PSP Go when it first came they first came out because basically it came with like I could get a decent phone for my contract, or I could get a shitty phone with a PSP Go free. And I was like, I don't really use my phone for much at the moment beyond calls and texts, so I just got a shitty phone.
I think that's how I got my Xbox 360. Because I was like, I don't.
Car Phone Warehouse.
Other
retailers are available, but most of them don't do offers with phones.
That sort of deal. Yeah. I mean, I'm not so bothered about that now, so I'd rather have a good phone now. But
yeah, nowadays I've used my phone for so much that I would be hard pressed to go away from a smartphone.
Yeah, and especially when I actually looked at some of the deals, they were like, oh wow, they really give you bad phones.
Oh yeah, nowadays with
I didn't really think of it much at the time because I think smartphones were still a relatively new thing, and I was like, you didn't know that it was definitely going to be the future at the time. I think so. I was like, I'm happy having a bootleg smartphone.
Yeah. Or then you could. The way I think I figured it out was I could get a PSP Go, and then later on, if I wanted a better phone, I could always buy that instead of spending the money on the PSP Go. So I bought Final Fantasy 7 because I was like, everybody tells me this is amazing, and it's a PSP Go, so I can play it on the go.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is clunky and horrendous.
Yeah.
And like it was all right while I played it. It was pretty fun, but it hadn't dated well at all.
I mean, I think people are accepting of games. I think sometimes because they go like, well, I loved this game back in the day. And
the good remakes.
I think unlike good remakes are ones that make you feel like I said,
they play like you remember.
Like, I think one of the best remakes I've played recently probably is the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War.
That's a great
I would like. Wow, you've actually taken the game and rebuilt it from the ground up, which is what you should do, really,
with remakes,
rather than some of these lazy ass ports. Like, I mean, like, take. I've not played it, so I can't definitely say it's definitely way. But it's just looking at it. That's what I felt like. I felt that the Bulletstorm remake.
That looks like
it looked like they just went
upscale.
They just upscaled it. Hardly any work's done it. Stuck Duke Nukem in as DLC to make someone pay £30 for it. And that's what I was like going, don't get me wrong, I like Bulletstorm.
I love
it was
Bulletstorm.
A great game.
It's great fun.
And but I mean, I've been given copies of the original game. I've got a PS Plus copy on my PS3 if I really want to play it.
Yeah.
And I still own my PS3. I don't feel the need to pay £30 to replay.
Yeah, indeed.
That, you know.
Yeah.
When I could easily play it for free.
I do understand what you mean. Yeah, I mean,
and we're not talking like it's a years old game either. Like, I mean, the other really good remake, if you call it a remake, because I suppose it's a reimagining, it's the more thing, is Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I've heard that's good. I've heard the new Crash trilogy is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it does look very good.
Yeah,
I can't get hold of it because it's completely sold out. Yeah,
it's sold faster than Horizon. It's the best-selling console launch of the year.
Yeah,
certainly for PlayStation.
Yeah,
which surprises
I'm guessing
me.
Is probably the whole thing, unless Zelda counts as it, but I don't know.
Tell you what I'm looking forward to this year. Wipeout on PS4 because I don't have Wipeout.
Oh, no, it is out.
It's out already.
Yeah, the Omega Collection. You mean?
Yeah,
it is out.
I've never had a Wipeout game. I'm tempted.
Yeah, I could never get into them myself.
I had the opportunity to get one because they did the 2 games for free because we done goofed.
Oh yeah,
because of the
I
outage.
picked up one on. Was it the V? Yeah, I think I picked up
bought
the HD collection.
Little
or something.
Big Planet with that, and another one which
I think it was
escapes
Wipeout
me.
Fury. I think it was.
I didn't get Wipeout. I got something else instead. Dead Nation.
Yeah,
Dead Nation.
I think
free,
I got
and Little Big Planet.
I
love those games.
I definitely got Infamous because I'd never played Infamous, and
I had a
wanted
disc copy of
Infamous.
that because I saw it because somebody had told me it was really good, and I bought my PS3 with that and Heavy Rain.
Yeah, I
Good
think that
choices,
was
good
at the
start.
time when it first came out. It was just I think I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can't really afford it at the moment. And it was one of those games that never really dropped in price.
Yeah,
So I think when they offered it as a free game, it was just started to drop in price because I think the sequel was coming out soon.
yeah,
So I then decided, I am going to go out up and buy that. If that's definitely one of my games. I think I already owned most of the other games. So I think I
Yeah.
plumbed for
something different.
something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I went for I think I did do Wipeout just because it was the one game other game I
That you
didn't
didn't
own.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I already owned Dead Nation and all that.
Yeah, I did. I mean, if I could go back now and choose again, I'd probably choose Wipeout and Dead Nation because Little Big Planet I liked, but I didn't really get a lot out of it.
Yeah, Little Big Planet.
It was adorable.
It's a good game to play with my other half.
Yeah, I did the same.
I find platform games like that or the Lego games or something like that. That reminds me, there's so many Lego games I haven't played.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, same. I've still got Force Awakens and Jurassic
same.
World over there. So
I played the demo of Force Awakens. Went, oh, this seems really good. I'll get that. Bought it fairly. I mean, I managed to pick it up cheap, but it was still fairly new at the time.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to never play it. It's just been sitting there. And
I'm tempted.
it makes
by
me laugh because I've got the most recent Deus Ex sitting in my to play thing. I know you can pick it up dirt cheap now.
like a tenner.
Yeah,
It's
and
crazy.
I've still got like the CEX thing when I traded in for it, and it's saying £25, and I just went, well, I was ripped off.
Yeah. Well, bollocks.
I should have waited.
I had actually a really good trade-in day at CEX the other day. So I've talked about before how I've used CEX credit trading to build up big amounts in one go. So like once before I did the trade-in guarantee back and forwards.
Yeah.
Once I didn't do it like multiple times back and forwards. I just mean once. I'd get the price from CEX, take the price to game, and then they'd beat it. And by doing that, I built up enough to buy my Xbox One, so it didn't actually cost me any money. The other day, I got rid of my PS3, which has been a long time coming. The games have been gone for months.
Okay.
I just haven't got round to taking the console down. I got rid of my 3DS, and now I've got £200 to spend.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, and that's well. I mean, I also traded in some games. I had 20 quid left over from last
traded in a
time.
bit more than that because I thought they probably.
Well,
I'm guessing they don't give a lot for a PS3.
I got £110 for the pair, so I thought it was quite reasonable. It was only a 250 gig slim.
Yeah, and I suppose the 3DS would give you more. Don't know.
There's a 3DS XL as well, so that's quite.
Do you find that you don't really play 3DS games anymore?
I don't really play handhelds much anymore at all. Like it's only really the only mobile games I play any sort of handheld related things.
I have a Vita. I know Vita's not really looked after anymore.
Vita lol,
either. Yeah. Which is a shame because it's not a bad handheld.
No, it seems fine. It seems like a better PSP Go.
Oh,
And I liked my
it's
Go.
a shame it just didn't get the support it should have got. That's the problem.
If they have a cheap PSP Go, maybe I'll get that for nostalgia's
It's
sake.
half the reason I've not gone, you know what, I need a PSVR.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's going to go the way of the Vita at the moment.
Yeah, I will say that if they have a cheap PSP Go in CEX, maybe I'll get one for old time's sake. But otherwise, I probably will just save up and buy a Switch.
Sadly, the best thing to say about the Vita is that it's a good game for picking up, like as I said, like the PS1 classics and that.
Yeah.
And it has got some PS2 remasters on it as well. So I mean, like you can get Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 on it, for example. Or you can
get the HD Peace Walker as well, can't you?
Yeah. So, it does have PSP games on it as well. So that's what I mean. It's all backwards compatible and has older games. Like, I remember someone selling a Vita. I remember reading an article saying the Vita isn't that bad. It's essentially a Final Fantasy machine because it can run pretty much every single Final Fantasy up until like 10.2 or whatever.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
So which is true.
Like I say, there may be. I've got £200 to spend. I don't know what to spend it on. But actually, maybe that's a good point to end it, and we can throw it open to the listeners. Maybe they've got suggestions. So, listeners, if you want to get in touch with us, maybe you have ideas of how I could spend my CEX credit. You can email us at podcast@emotionally14.com with the subject line Gamecast, and tell us your thoughts on the show, subjects we can talk about in the future, whether or not you'd like to hear the missed opportunities episode or whatever. The sort of the missing links.
Yeah. Oh, there is one thing, just as a small side. I know it seems a little bit far away at this point, but I mean, is there anything you've recently done unplugged-wise?
Unplugged-wise, board gaming.
I know we both did Devil's Run recently.
We did play Devil's Run recently. I like that.
That was good fun.
Yeah, it reminded me of Thunder Road. Yeah. Your hand okay?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Oh, fuck
I was just bending down.
It's an ice cream stick. Fuck me. I thought you'd broken a finger.
I was playing with an ice cream stick, but it cracked. Yeah, and I was like, no, I thought I just snapped the bone from my hand.
The arthritis.
I don't want to do this podcast anymore.
I know it's a myth, commenters. Don't worry. Devil's Run I played. I bought the Walking Dead miniatures game. I've got plans to play that next week. So I shall see how that goes. I've been picking up some clicks. I haven't actually opened any recently. So I've got some toy boxes coming up, which are Avengers Defenders War, Marvel What If. I'm going to buy some DC Elseworlds because I want some. Yeah. Because there's some really cool stuff in that set.
I had some What If models donated to me from Suppressing Fire. With their Brick Fury page. But,
yes, I saw some of the ones that you'd got. I was quite jealous. Yeah, I was jealous of his Punisher of the Strange for sure.
Yeah,
his ethereal Uzi. It's like, because why not, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's some nice sculpts in there.
I've still got plans to buy the for the Clicks players. I've still got plans to buy a convention exclusive Doomsday. Okay. The one that can be played at 1, 2, 300 points, and it's stop clicks on every single every single bit of the dial. He's a bastard.
He sounds nasty.
On the
plus side, you don't have to hit him now.
This is true. I found this interesting the other day. I didn't realise that there's a list on WizKids forums of pieces that are being examined for being banned from tournament play.
Oh, okay.
Goblin King is already in it from the What If set. He's already on the list of being considered for bans from tournament play because apparently he's not fun to play against because he's got pick a power.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. And also they've put Felix Faust on there as well, the one with the D20.
Okay, that means Strange is on there as well.
Strange is not on there, bizarrely. I don't know if that's just because his powers are balanced better or whatever. I suppose it's because he's 150 points, whereas Felix Faust is 80. So Felix Faust is easier to put in a force.
Yeah.
But yeah, Goblin King is.
I think they're interesting models, those ones with the D20. But I don't think. I must admit, I don't think I would enter a tournament with one. No,
and I think most of them
they're too eclectic.
Yeah, I think most of them. I mean, they're scrubbing things out of the rules all the time. They've scrubbed team abilities now. ATAs. They're out of tournament play now completely. They've been cycled out. I'm kind of glad. It
doesn't seem to be a thing they've done in the new rules, which is a shame because I always think it needs to be straightened out. Or maybe it has and I've missed it. So apologies.
The new rules aren't due out till August.
But what I've seen of it, I really wanted Pulse Wave to get sorted out.
Yeah, I think they're rewording it, but I don't think they're changing it.
But also, it's too weak against characters.
Yeah.
It's only really. It was an alright power back in the days of pre-cards, but I mean, with power creep and all that, it's a pretty useless ability these days, and that's why I would like if it was locked at damage 1, but it was penetrating. For example, I know you said it can't be that because there's a character that has a special ability that is that.
Yeah. So here we go. Yeah. So Pulse Wave, apparently. There's I'm sure there's a podcast in this, but at the same time it's late, so it's not for today.
No. I know. I thought I sprung this on you at the last second.
I do have plans to. I do every now and then. This is a bit of a behind the scenes of Emotionally 14. I do find myself sitting there thinking I could do a podcast about blank, where blank might be wrestling, HeroClix, movies. I'm always tempted to just have a series that is just pilots that never get greenlit. So it's just a podcast feed of pilots of just one episode of anything. So basically, I have this theory that I can talk about absolutely anything for an hour. Here we go. So they've changed the wording. Half range, blah, 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 blah. Other characters within range can't use powers or abilities. Make a range attack targeting all characters, at least one of which must be opposing. If more than one character is targeted, each character is dealt 1 damage instead of normal. So you work it against printed defense values as well. So,
they said they all dealt 1 damage. It doesn't say unavoidable damage, though. Because that's why I think would make it more an effective power.
They're removing. So one of the things they're targeting is
Because I know there was that whole, is it a close combat thing, is it a ranged thing? Because it seems
so it's going to be it's a ranged thing, for sure.
Because it's essentially a ranged Quake, I thought.
It is, yeah. It's basically the same thing, yeah.
But Quake seems to be more damaging.
One of the things they're removing is they're tidying up the language around damage reduction, ignoring, transferring, evading.
Yeah.
So there's only going to be like one of each. So there won't be like, you won't be able to reduce or ignore it. It will be reduced, or it will be just reduced or whatever. So they're going to tidy up the wording on that. Look forward to that around the time the Thor set drops.
Yeah,
because that's the first set.
Roughly when it was meant to drop.
That's the first set after the after the World Tournament.
My problem with Pulse Wave in general. I mean, I'm happy to play games where people house roll it in that way. Yeah. But because it's such a weak thing, and most characters have toughness these days, at least.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
That Pulse Wave doesn't really work on anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you do get the odd character where they don't have that. They have like willpower or energy deflection or something like that. But yeah,
or range combat expert or whatever.
A different defense power.
Yeah,
but it's not common.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean. It's not the sort of
I mean, basically, there's
a bit like when I see that, I go, "Well, I'm not using that."
They're gonna.
Like I very rarely use Quake.
They're gonna change the language on a lot of this stuff. So, like I say, there's probably a podcast in it. I don't have the energy to do it today, but when the time of the new rules comes, maybe there'll be a special toy box. Who knows? Anyway, so unplugged wise. So Walking Dead miniatures game I've bought. I'm playing it next week. I'll let you know. It does look cool. The miniatures are fucking gorgeous.
I've heard about it.
I bought a lot of paint sets recently because I'm getting a bit more into painting models, which is kind of cool. It's quite therapeutic. Like a couple of times I've seen like social media drama where normally it would annoy me. I look at it, roll my eyes, and go back to painting.
I need to sit down and actually play it, but I've been I bought Warlord Games have done a Doctor Who game.
Oh yeah, I
saw
Exterminate.
That. Because I thought, I thought it might be something that might get Kat interested in wargaming because I know she likes Doctor Who.
That's what I did Walking Dead for, was for Jen.
I bought that for her, and I bought her something expensive, and I bought her like Peter Capaldi and his companions and that. And
was it Malcolm Tucker? Please say it's Malcolm Tucker. What's this fuckety biopower?
But and I bought the expansions. So I mean, I've not played the game, but I already had the expansions and one of the Doctors. I mean, I know there are still things.
To be fair, I bought some expansions I bought an expansion for the Walking Dead game, which is the Leon Clementine from the Walking Dead game.
Ah, okay.
Because it was a special edition, like convention exclusive thing. I was at a trade show.
Yeah, that's fine. That sort of thing's fine. And I was a bit like, I don't know how long Warlord will be supporting this game. And I thought if I have it and I have enough,
it doesn't matter if they
do
retire
a game.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I said, worst case scenario, if the game turns out to be a bit pants, Kat's got some nice middle models of some Daleks and Cybermen, and she can.
And also,
it's something we can paint together or whatever.
And if the game gets retired, you've got enough to keep you going afterwards.
I think what I quite liked about it was that it was fairly cheap for the base set. It was only like £30.
That's pretty good.
And you could play a game out of the box.
Yeah,
it did have a play
same with Walking Dead works the same way. £30 for
which
the base set.
I thought that's quite rare for a war game.
Sure.
Because I mean, a lot of war games are like, oh yes, you can play it for hundreds of pounds,
all the money.
Yeah, that's a bit extreme, but but that's obviously the hobby part of it, obviously. So
of course you're sitting there doing your budget, and you're just like, oh well, I can sort this spreadsheet out, and God damn, I can't make the money work.
I'm just gonna drink a beer.
Stone Cold Blake Armor is doing his accounts. God,
not playing Exterminate anymore because I've thrown it up Cat's head.
And that's the bottom line, and I have not enough money to hit that bottom line.
I'm under the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line. I will not exceed.
I'm selling the house.
I don't think there's any other unplugged games I've played recently. We've not had anything touch the table recently here at home.
No,
I'm talking. We did play. What did we play? We played the Game of Thrones card game, the Fantasy Flight one. Me and you played.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think that went down too well. I don't think it was quite. That is quite an elaborate game. It seems.
Yeah, I was okay with it. I mean, I don't have the knowledge of Game of Thrones like.
But the mechanics are.
I was okay following the mechanics.
If you're a beginner, it's quite hard. And then Jen was. So
I can see it might.
I may start with Netrunner at some point and see if that's a bit easier.
Might
Probably
be.
not.
I mean, I haven't played the original Netrun. I've only played the original Netrun. I've not
remake,
played
yeah.
the Fantasy Flight remake, so I can't say.
Well, it's either that or I sell it, and I don't particularly want to sell it.
No.
So,
well,
I don't really use it.
I would like to play it at some point, so I'll take it off your hands if you were getting rid of it.
All right, well,
but or we can play a game together. Maybe that's at least you can see how Jen might react.
Yes. Yes.
So,
She'll turn into Stone Cold Steve Austin as well.
Goddamn can't action.
Goddamn hackers.
Yeah.
Stealing all my goddamn credits. You bastard. So on that note, Stone Cold Steve Austin complaining about Netrunner.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. I think.
I think that's a good episode of the E14 Gamecast. Good times were had by all. So thank you very much for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, you can. The best thing you can do for us is you can leave us a review on iTunes, YouTube, or Stitcher. YouTube obviously would be in the form of comments, but the more comments obviously we get, we love interacting with the community. I make a point of checking the YouTube comments every day to make sure that I can reply back to everybody because we get lots of lovely comments on the Hero Clicks videos, especially on the Toy Box. So, I like to make sure that everybody sees those because I like them to watch the videos because obviously I put a lot of work into them. I say work, but I put a lot of time into them and a lot of effort. You can find everything we do at emotionally14.com. That's digits, not letters. We have a Facebook and Twitter page by searching Emotionally14, and obviously the YouTube channel where you can find this podcast, the Crazy Train podcast, the E14 Toy Box, and some video game Let's Plays and stuff. Not that many, but there are some really good ones.
I know I say every episode, but I do mean to do
It's
more.
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You don't have to feel bad for life getting in the way. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm the last person who should be berating you on these things, so don't worry about it. Blake, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram. I've recently set up an account. There's not, as I said, not loads of photos at the time of recording, but I'm at Harmer the Appreciator. You can find me on Twitter at fucksakeblake. And you can also find me on Facebook, but seeing as it's more of a personal account, if you let me know who you are when you send me an invite,
obviously you can leave Blake messages on the Emotionally 14 Facebook page. You can tweet him at fucksakeblake, or you can also email at podcast@emotionally14.com. So that's one way of doing it. You can find me on Twitter at RobWadeVision and on Instagram at the same address. Again, my Facebook is personal. You can follow it, but you're more than welcome to do so.
Let me know if you know any. I mean, if I know who, if I know the person, or if I know your mutual friend, I will normally add you. But if you're a fan of the podcast and want to add me, if you just let me know who you are, I'm more than happy to add you. I'm not like
exactly.
I'm
not one of those divas.
No.
Success hasn't gone to his head, mainly because we haven't fucking had any. But.
Yeah, exactly. One day it will go to my head when we actually get there.
Yes. So thank you very much for listening. Like I say, you can email podcast@emotionally14.com. Tell us what you want to hear and let us know if you want future episodes to do a particular subject. And if you've got an example, that would be also much appreciated. So thank you very much for listening. Bibbidi Bop Games.
Wah, wah.